G'day everyone. Gonna try something a little bit new today. I'm gonna try recording a video on Bolt.new, a fairly new dev sandbox with AI that's been built by Stackblitz. It's something that I've been using recently to try to help me build some of my side projects. It helps me skip the design phase in a lot of cases, and hopefully I can sort of help other folks out there like Nick HK, just to basically show you how I'd use this tool, show you some of the issues that you might run into, warts and all. Sorry about the Australian accent. Hopefully it's not too thick. Let's see whether we can build a simple Astro site for Nick HK, and just see where we go. See where we can actually deploy something. So Nick was playing around with Bolt, and he basically wanted to try to build an Astro site where he could just basically list his portfolio, feature some products, articles, nothing too complicated. So Astro would be great for something like that. He mentions a simple website with cards for projects, and so on. So let's see what we can build. Hopefully the music's not too loud so you can hear me. Now, just to make sure, I'm fully transparent, I have subscribed to Stackblitz. Let's have a look at the subscription. So I'm just on the Pro plan at the moment, $20 a month. Obviously there is a free plan, I believe. So let's just have a quick look at that. So if I go to new .bolt, so I believe there is a free plan. Let's just try building something. Idea, a simple portfolio website where I can list my featured products. Alright, let's just try this, and then we'll switch back to the subscription version of it. Okay, no. So we need to sign in. Alright. Like I said, warts and all. I'm going to switch back to the paid version, just sort of get through a few bits and pieces. Alright, I've been using this a little bit. So out of the 10 million tokens that I get per month for the $20 a month US, I've used up about 3.9 million this month. So I'm really looking forward to the next 4 days where it resets. But yeah, okay, back to what we're building. So what's our idea? Let's go back to what Nick was saying. Alright, so the idea is for a simple portfolio website where I can display my featured projects, write and display my articles, where I can let's just go back, so we can display my write and display my articles. I'd like the featured projects to show in card form on the homepage. tick, Astro for static page generation, Markdown for articles, look and feel. And so what sort of look and feel are we going for, Nick? Let's have a look. Nick's got a pretty cool photo. So let's see where we can drag that in. Use the attached photo to get an idea for the theme and colors. Alright, let's see what we can build. Now, where sort of Bolt fits in among all the tools that are out there, so cursor, windsurfer, Replit, and so on. So Bolt will basically, well, one, it runs in the browser. Two, you can just basically prompt. So prompt and tell it what you want to do as it's kind of building your project. Now, obviously you can see the code, right? But if you really wanted to kind of get hands-on with any of the code within the project, you'd want to basically move it into Stackblitz, which is an online, almost like an online Visual Studio Code, or you'd want to download it and actually basically open up the Visual Code. And if you had Cursor or Windsurf, then you'd basically use your Visual Code with one of them to kind of speed things up while working with the code on your local. If you'd like me to sort of explain that a little bit further, tell me and I'll try to create another video. Alright, so this is the first version of what we just built. What Bolt just built. Not too bad. I guess not too bad. You can see that it took a visual cue based off the photo that we attached. If we click on projects, obviously there's no page for projects. Articles, there's no page for articles, right? There's a few different broken images, but we've got to start, right? Now let's have a look at the code. Does it look like we're using Astro? It looks like we're using Astro. Have a look at the dependencies. Yes, we're using Astro and we're using Tailwind, so that's pretty cool. So Bolt basically decided, hey, even though we didn't tell it in the initial prompt that we wanted to use Tailwind, it's actually decided to actually pick it up. Now we're using version 4 of Astro. I'm not sure whether that's the latest version of Astro. Let's have a look. What version of Astro are we working with at the moment? So Astro is up to what version are we on? Okay, so Astro is on version 4.16. So it looks like we should be fairly close to what the latest version of Astro is. So that's a good thing to know. So now let's try to fix up some of these issues, right? To begin with, let's try fixing the images for the projects, right? So let's go. Can we fix the featured projects images so that we have some placeholders. Feature product images in the project cards. Let's see where it fixes the images for us. Cool. Now we got some images, right? Now, the sort of workflow with Bolt is you basically prompt and you keep prompting as you go. The biggest bit of advice that I can give you is try to keep the prompts fairly self-contained. Try to only fix bits and pieces. Try to add, bits and pieces of features. Don't go too big, because what might actually happen is that Bolt could potentially just rewrite a large chunk of what it's actually generated previously. And if that happens and you don't like the result, you might end up having to kind of roll back to the previous checkpoint. Like you can sort of see here, there's a little button that I can hit to actually roll back to the previous result that we basically got, or like it says, previous checkpoint. Alright, so we've got some images, but if I click the projects, again, no projects, right? So let's try to get Bolt to add some projects for us, or a project page for us. So let's say right now we don't have a project detail page. So when we click the project cards, we end up on a 404 page. Can we add a project detail page so that when I click on a project, I see the say project title, project image, project description, project features. You know what? Let me just title. See where it kind of understands this. Let's go description, features, URL2, project, business, information about the business. Actually, no. We'll just keep it at that. Let's see what we get. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So we can see that Bolt's using Markdown to create the placeholder articles. And we can see that like within the actual Markdown, it looks like that we're using Tailwind. Was it in the? Okay, we'll go back and have a look at the code a little bit closer in a second. So now if I hit the card, cool, awesome. So we've got a project detail page now. If I go back, hit project 2, awesome, cool, we got something. Now if I hit projects, I get nothing. So let's try fixing that. Great work so far, thank you, Bolt. can we now add a projects page that lists all projects, not just the ones that I've featured on the home page. And funny enough, some that I like adding in, it's sometimes helpful to sort of drop in something along the lines of, can you make the project listing page follow best practices, right? Let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. Cool. Awesome. All right, let's have a look. So it's kind of something that you have to be sort of wary of when using Bolt. Sometimes what it does will go a little bit further than you might want. So for example, see here, it's actually pushed out. It looks like it's added the projects page. So great, we've got a projects page, but it's also sort of given us like 3 columns now, which isn't necessarily bad. But let's just try something. Let's say we only wanted 2 featured products instead of there being potentially 3 or more, right? Can we maybe do this? Can we modify the home page featured projects grid to the 2 columns and 2 columns, right? Let's try this. So let's say we wanted to kind of go back to 2 columns instead of having 3 or 3 columns for featured products on the home page. Cool. Now we're back to two columns. If I click View Projects, I can see my projects. If I go back to Home, so I've got articles. Now articles doesn't work. Okay, that's something that we'll have to fix next. If I click Projects here, great. That link works. So now let's work on the projects. Let's work on the articles. Can we now add an articles list page similar to the projects list page? Please follow best practices and keep the home page articles in a list format, list card format. Let's try that. Let's have a look. This is pretty nice. Nice. That's actually not too bad, to be honest. Now, if I click one of these articles, I wonder whether it's going to work. Yes, it does work, but that's That's pretty ugly. Let's fix up the article detail pages now. Alright, so let's do this. Great work. Can we improve the article detail pages so that we have we follow SEO best practices, have headings, a lead space image, author name, the date, time of the article being created, article content, and anything else that might help users understand this each article. And we also have maybe a featured box that links back to project detail pages. See what happens here. Let's see where we can get a better article. Now, something that you might notice, what I'm typing into prompt doesn't have the best grammar. You know, there's instructions maybe sometimes aren't super clear. But funny enough, it gets there. No matter whether you use Bolt or whether you use Cursor, Windsurfer, Claude, Sonnet, any sort of any of the big LLMs at the moment, if you keep plugging away, if sooner or later you'll get there. Let's see what we come up with. Awesome. Okay, I think we. Oh no, it's back. All right, cool. Let's have a look. What do we have now? Nice. That's a little bit better. It's a little bit better, and that links back to feature product. Great. Look at that. Not bad, eh? And if I click the articles, I go back to articles page. If I get there, I click back on an article. Fantastic. Alright. Okay. There is one thing that I want to sort of fix. I don't like the fact that the article content sitting on sort of gradient background. So let's say we, let's say great. Can we now adjust the article detail page so that the main content is sitting on a darker background so that my text doesn't bleed into the gradient background, making it hard to read. Okay, let's have a look. Great, awesome. So now our main article content is on a bit of a darker background, similar to our right hand side column. Not bad, not too bad. Right, so within about 25 minutes we now have a portfolio site with featured products, articles. Looks like most of it's working. I can click around. It's built in Astro. You know what? We still need a. Let's add a footer. Can we add a best practices footer? Cool. And now we have an awesome footer. So if I go to featured project, yep, got the footer. If I go to article, yep, cool, got a footer, brilliant. Now something that's really handy to do, and we'll see whether this works, but for these sort of projects, you can sort of see all the tabs, right? You know, I build so many different projects and I jump between them, and then work comes up that when I come back to projects, sometimes it's really handy. I find it really handy to have a little project README that talks about the project, what it is, how to basically use it, you know, and basically where we left off. So in this case, let's see whether we can we add a markdown file called project MD that explains how to add new projects, how to make them featured projects, how to add new projects and articles, and how to make featured product, how to make them featured projects and articles. Can you also add any other helpful information to the project MD so that we know where we left off and any potential future improvements. Let's see what it comes up with. Cool, look at that. Now we've got a little bit of a markdown file in the root of the project that tells us a little bit of description about what the project's about, tells us how to add new projects, right, project overview. So it gives you like a little bit of a snippet that you can add into your markdown files. So we can see here that this is a markdown file. Similar deal with the articles, so it gives you a little bit of a guide on how to set up your article. Information about the featured projects and featured articles, the project structure. So it gives you a bit of a rundown of, you know, what's within each folder, the current features, potential improvements, the tech stack, how to run it, and some additional notes. So pretty awesome. So looking at my timer, we're 30 minutes in. We've got a project, we've got featured, we've got a portfolio site, we've got featured products, featured articles, we've got instructions on what to do. We're in Astro. So now you've got a couple options from here. So let's say you're happy with what you've got. One, you can download it. So I'm just going to download the project. And if I go to, let's say I go to one of my all right, let's just go to the downloads folder. All right, so downloads, and then we'll go into projects folder. How about I extract it? So just extract it to here. So obviously you just extract the folder, the project to wherever you want on your desktop. Alright, cool. We got the project. Go into here. So this is sort of going back to what I was saying earlier, right? If you're kind of wondering where the cursor would fit in on Windsurfer, right? At this point, so let's say I wanted to make some changes locally, what I'd basically do is, so I just open up Visual Code Insiders, which is like a preview version of Visual Code. Now in here, I have GitHub Copilot, so instead of cursor. So now it's actually picked up that the project is an Astro project, and it's actually telling me to, hey, it might be a good idea to install the extension, right, for Astro. So we'll do that, and we'll just restart, or if it needs to anyways. So come on, download it. So it's installing. Come on. It's taking a little bit. But while it's doing that, what we can actually do, let's just go into the terminal. And we'll just do an npm install once it pops up. So let's go npm install, just to get all the dependencies, or install all the dependencies for the project. Right. Well, once this is done, we'll restart Visual Code so we can pick up the Astro extension. Come on. Cool, awesome. So we've just installed all the node modules. We'll restart Visual Code. Alright. So now Visual Code should have support for Astro. So look at that. We've got support for the Astro templates. Great. Now if I run the dev, so npm run dev, if I run it, we should basically see the same thing as what we're seeing in Bolt or the Bolt online editor. Yep. So we've got that. Let's just grab this because I don't want it to open up Edge. Let's have a look. Cool. So there's our. So I've just basically spent, let's say, 30 minutes building the portfolio, got up to a certain point that I'm happy with, right? I downloaded it, installed the dependencies locally, installed the Astro extension for Visual Code, and now I've got the same project locally, right? And that's pretty awesome. So from here, right, once you have the actual project files, you can basically host them wherever you kind of want, or whatever host supports Astro, right, obviously. Now you can also, so let's say you don't want to set up Visual Code locally, you can use Stackblitz, so you can open up in Stackblitz your project in your project files, so you can basically modify things here. You can link this Stackblitz project to a GitHub repo in your account, right? And you've also got option to, oh, that's one of my other projects. So if I click deploy, right? So what deploy will do is it will actually deploy my project from Bolt.new to Netlify. Right? So you've got a couple of different options, right? If you didn't want Netlify, you'd want to download your files, basically do what you need to do and host your project wherever you want. Or if you're sort of happy with Netlify, hit the deploy button and it'll actually it'll set your project up. So see this, now I've got a link on Netlify, and if I go to here, there you go. This is my project, right? So now you can basically go to Netlify, attach a domain, right? Like it even gives you like a little link here if you want to actually transfer the site to your own Netlify account. So yeah, so once you transfer it into your own Netlify account, you can attach a domain. What else? Yeah, overall, really handy tool. If you find yourself getting stuck at the design phase, brilliant to basically skip that design phase and just get something together. Really handy, like Bolt.new is really handy just to kind of get past the boilerplating, get something out, put it out there, start getting some traffic, you know, and just basically go from there. Something else that I didn't cover in here, I haven't really played around with it, but you can apparently hook in Supabase via Bolt, so you can get a Postgres database authentication. I think there's also support for Firebase. If you've hung around this long and you'd like to see something like that, give me a shout and I can try recording another video, and we can have a bit of a play around with those features. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Hopefully this will help whoever's watching this to sort of help you get your projects out there, get your ideas out there. If you've got any questions, shoot them across. Like I said, this video's warts and all, so you sort of saw what I ran into, some of the kind of little issues that I ran into. sometimes you might, one issue that every now and then I do run into, sometimes if I try doing too much, try prompting too much, Bolt does sometimes get confused. Sometimes the styling doesn't work. But the good news is, even if you run into sort of, let's say, a blank page, in a lot of cases you can just basically type into it saying, hey, I'm getting a blank page, please fix it, or hey, my page is unstyled, please fix it. And after a little bit of work, it will come right. Yeah, so good luck. In my mind, this is like for $20, this is worthwhile. I have no idea what these errors are, but for $20, this is super worthwhile. You can see at the top of the screen how many projects I've kind of played around with, and all that I've sort of used up is 3.6 million tokens during the month. I've played around building directories. What's this one? Let's have a look at this one. This one was another little project that I was playing around with, like a Sydney suburbs comparison site. Taking a little bit to load. There we go. Again, not bad, pretty decent. Insights. What else have I got here? Anyways, hopefully it gives you an idea, right? I'm kind of getting a little bit sidetracked, but pretty awesome tool. Really helps out. Helps get unstuck, get something out there, get something deployed. You can get the code downloaded, keep working on it. You can attach databases, authentication. Awesome. Well worthwhile the 20 US a month. So good luck. If you like these sort of videos, give me a shout. Tell me what else you'd like to see, and have fun. Oh yeah, if you do end up getting some projects out there and deployed, shoot me a link. I'd love to see what you come up with. So have a good one.